What up, Midgard? My name is Daniel Cumming and welcome to your weekly rune reading. If you haven't done a rune reading with me before, what I'm going to do is just start shuffling the cards and I'll lay out 3 sets of runes. So what I'll get you to do is just pick a number between 1 and 3 or whichever set comes to mind. Don't think about it too much. While you're choosing your set, all I want you to do is just take a few breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. So as you inhale, expand your belly forward and out like a balloon filling full of air. And then as you exhale, just relax, let the belly soften, and just keep the nice strong posture. Just let the breath naturally slow down, and with each breath, just focusing on a simple intention for the reading. Just a general area of inquiry, doesn't have to be too specific a question. So I'll lay out 2 cards, each pile. Rune set 1, rune set 2, and rune set 3. Rune set 1, rune set 2, rune set 3. Nice big breath in and out. Choose your set, 1, 2, or 3. And with your set chosen, we'll start with rune set 3 today. So this is rune set 3. We'll see what we come up with first. So we have Perthro and Dagas. So Perthro is the idea of random chance. So it represents the idea of luck. So everything that we're doing right now is encompassed in Perthro. And it's the idea that there's an element of chance or an element of randomness in everything that we do. In fact, the whole universe has to have this element of randomness. So this is when you get a feeling of Perthro. It's that idea when you meet a particular person at a particular time, like you might miss your train or bus and you might end up sitting next to someone on the next one, and had you not missed that, and just this whole idea of being in the right place at the right time, or being in a certain situation because of the element of chance. Now when it's mixed with Dagas is the idea of polarity and a paradox. So it's not the ideas of each polarity, but the seeming mix between the two. So it's not one side, it's not the other, it's this synthesis of these 2 ideals. So it's the idea of, it actually means day. So it's like this awakening. It's when you have that aha moment. So you're trying to think of a name, or you're trying to think of a song, or you're trying to think of something, and you just have that aha moment that you don't know where it comes out of. Or you have that idea that's been gestating or percolating for a while. So Dagas is the product of a lot of hard work put in, and then letting it just sit and gestate for a while, and then eventually kind of bubbles up to the surface, usually when you're not expecting it. So when you mix the 2 together, maybe you've been working towards something, you've been really trying to synthesize 2 different ideals, or you've been stuck in this loop, stuck in this paradox, and maybe you're really just pushing too hard for something to actually come and take shape out of it. But maybe you need to let go a little bit, back off. As long as you've done the hard work and put it whatever you need to do in, you can let go a little bit and let the elements of randomness and chance and synchronicity and all that sort of stuff come back in, and then move what needs to be moved around, so elements can come around, and then eventually, maybe when you least expect it, probably when you least expect it, you might get that synthesis or that light of day that you were expecting. So it's good, very positive reading. Dagas and Perthro are actually probably the 2 most good luck runes. I mean, they definitely have their shadier elements, but it looks like a pretty good reading, especially those 2 mixed together. So if you picked 3, that's your reading. Number 2. So we have Manas and Nalvis. So Manas is this idea of humanity or humanness in all of its elements. So from our absolute ability to transcend whatever we're going through, the ability to learn, the idea that we can pick an area of like schooling, and we can grow and learn and develop and gain this amazing intelligence and this amazing like awakening divine humanity. But it's also the idea that we get stuck in certain human elements and like all these things that we call weaknesses, but really they're just part of being human, and they can often lead us to amazing things. Now there's the idea of need and resistance. So need and resistance is actually very essential to being human. The idea that, you know, we physically need resistance to grow our bone density and muscle. We need resistance to grow. We need resistance to appreciate anything. So, I mean, I'm sure anyone can think of something, you know, even could be, you know, a person that you've met. It could be something that you've desired or someone you've desired. And, you know, part of being human is, you know, the weird thing that we appreciate something that is harder to get. So if something is trickier to get, if your will is being resistant, and if you think something is harder to get than you expected it to be, because, you know, the universe is supposed to all flow, and, you know, it's not. It's probably making you appreciate whatever you're going for. So especially if you're looking, you know, like going through some sort of intellectual endeavor at the moment, or something to work with people. So if you're working within, you know, like some idea of community or humanity, or if you're, you know, learning, if you're undergoing some sort of course or some sort of teaching at the moment, and you're finding it harder than you think, and you're thinking about giving up, I mean, it's completely up to you, but if you really push through it, not only is it going to be more worth your while, but you'll grow so much more from it. And if it's too easy, you're probably going to get bored anyway, right? So let's be honest. So Naldis and Manas. So essential resistance, essentially being part of being human, and something that you'll appreciate. And especially if you're looking at growing and self-development, then resistance is essential. All right, so I know someone who's been following the rune readings so far, all the ones I've been doing, and has picked Elhaz every time. So if you picked Elhaz again, this is rune number 1. So we have Elhaz and Wunyo. So I'll start with Wunyo. So Wunyo is the idea of, you know, clanship. So you can see it as like the flag of the clan raised up. But it's the idea that when everything is working in harmony, in tandem, this is the idea of teamwork and of joining harmonious forces together. And that's the key to it, harmonious forces. So when Wunyo is not in balance, maybe your idea or your true will or your true desire is not harmonious with maybe the group ideal. Maybe you started, you joined a group that you thought it was harmonious and it wasn't. Or maybe you are looking at doing something and you need to find like a group, or you need to find a tribe in order to really get in touch with this. So Wunyo and Elhaz will be an interesting mix, because Elhaz is this idea of being connected to, you know, whatever your spiritual pursuits are, whether, you know, that be the gods, whether that be any other spiritual pursuit, whether it be your higher self, you know, whether you're completely atheist and you just think of Elhaz could be, you know, your subconscious self, or your, you know, your higher purpose, or whatever you call it to be. So it's this idea of divine communication. I mean, even modern day, we use this symbol as an antenna, right? So it's communication with something that's outside of the physical senses. So whatever that means to you, something outside of your everyday, what we call maybe mundane or muggle life. So maybe to really get the most out of that, because this is really calling you to get out of your comfort zone. Elhaz is all about, you know, skyrocketing you up to your highest potential, but getting you out of your comfort zone. So maybe your getting out of your comfort zone might be finding some sort of community, some sort of tribe, or some sort of clan, or some sort of harmonious endeavor. Could be with other people. This is all, you know, very, very focused on people, but it could be, you know, other harmonious entities. So maybe if you have a business that you're trying to like grow to a next level, it could be, you know, getting involved with other businesses. But I mean, it all comes back to people, right? People are the driving force behind everything. So yeah, something's definitely calling you if you picked Elhaz to really level up, or really step into that next level of what you're trying to do with your higher purpose. And you'll know straight away what it is. As soon as this came up, you probably knew straight away what I'm talking about. And yeah, maybe you need to find the right community to help you. But also just know that, you know, every human, every group, every community, everyone has their own agenda as well. So make sure if you do go into it that, you know, either your agendas or your goals are harmonious, or you just make sure, be honest about your intentions behind it. And I think the people that you join with will be honest about theirs. And yeah, if it's harmonious and everyone's doing their, you know, part in it, that's amazing. But just don't get lost. Don't immerse or lose, you know, don't dissolve your true purpose or your true will within the group mind too much. But in saying that, you know, don't go in thinking that that's going to happen. But Alhaz definitely is a whole idea of discomfort, but also maybe a little bit of hidden danger there. So don't get too attached to the group. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly what that means yet, and don't let me put you off that group, especially if you're in a group. But just be aware. It's all about awareness. Go in with an open heart, open mind, but also be aware to what you're really trying to get out of the situation. So I hope that makes sense. I love the Alhaz rune. It always signifies very, very interesting time. So they're all interesting readings no matter what you got. So I was reading number 3, reading number 2, and reading number 1. So I've gone backwards this time. So 3, 2, and 1. So if you join me for the whole thing, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the reading and it resonated with you somehow. Please let me know which ones you choose. I'm always really interested to see what number people choose and what you did get out of it, if it resonated with you, if there was something you didn't really understand. If you've got more questions, I'm always going to reply to the comments, so feel free to post whatever you want below, ask some questions, yeah, I'll respond as soon as I can. I'll see you all next week. Thanks for joining in. Ryan till Rune.